Hi, I'm Eilene. Welcome to the Adorn It Studio. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make this adorable pumpkin door hanger. We've designed this one especially with fall and Thanksgiving in mind, with this cute little give thanks wood hanging from it. This comes in a kit that you can find at your local crafting, quilting, or fabric stores. If you can't find this kit there, please visit us at adornit.com because we have this pumpkin door hanger and then we also have a bunch of other really cute door hangers as well. So if you can't find anything, please contact us. This kit will come with your burlap, which is what we have used to put all of these fabrics on. It hangs really nicely on your door. This burlap is doubled, so it's a nice weight and it hangs nice. You will also have your fabric that is included in the kit, your twine, your little give thanks wood piece, your burlap, and your pattern pieces. All of our patterns come with a little template that show you where to position all of your fabrics as you get ready to sew them. So that's nice for a visual. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you will want to take and cut out all of the templates or the pattern pieces. You can either cut out those pattern pieces and just use them directly like this to trace with, or you can trace this onto a thicker piece of paper or cardboard if you want something a little sturdier to trace. Once you get all of the pattern pieces cut out, you will want to trace them onto your fabric. The fabric is also doubled, and you're going to want to trace on the top facing side out of the right side of your fabric. I recommend using either a pencil, but my really preferred choice is to use a disappearing marking pen. You can get those at most any craft stores. There's the disappearing pen that disappears over time, and then there's the disappearing pen that disappears with the use of an iron. Either one is fine. It's just nice to have this disappearing pen. You'll trace all the way around your pattern pieces, and in this particular pattern or this kit, the trace line is your stitch line. So you will be stitching directly onto the trace line. You lay your pattern pieces out. This one you'll just flip over and you'll trace that piece. Once you have your pattern pieces traced out onto your fabrics, you will take your fabric and open it and then sandwich in your batting. Now we like to use this high loft polyfill quilt batting because it gives it a little more puff, and I like that on these door hangers. It's just more dimensional. Really, you can use whatever you have, but we do recommend using a high loft poly. You'll sandwich that in between your fabrics, and then you're going to want to pin or secure it down with safety pins or straight pins. That's really important because when you take it to your machine, because of the bulk, you don't want to have fabrics that are tucked under or the seams aren't or you get a lot of puckering. Another thing that I would recommend when you're doing this is if you have the capacity to use a walking foot on your sewing machine, I would suggest that. Your regular sewing machine foot also works fine, but the walking foot makes it go a little smoother and you have less pucker when you do that. So you'll take it to your machine, you have it pinned, you will sew directly onto the stitch line, and then you will just cut away about a half, I'd say a quarter to a half of an inch outside of the stitch line. And there you have it. You can take all of the pins out. Once you have your pumpkin wedges completed, something else that I would also recommend is putting in these little stitches right here. Just go and mark onto the wedges and just in random areas, and then just put a little bar tack stitch in there. And that helps to give it a little puffy look too, which is nice. Now, to create your tendrils, look at these fun tendrils. They're curly and they just hang off the top of the pumpkin there. Those are really easy to make. And the pattern will give you a guide on cutting 2 pieces of fabric. And then you're just going to put your right sides together, sew down both raw edges, leaving this end open. It's a little bit tight, and so I just use a chopstick, turn it right side out, and then you have your casing like this. Now to get it to look curly, you're just going to use these 12-inch pipe cleaners. You can get really anywhere, the dollar store, Walmart. Then you will take these pieces, fold over the top edges so that it doesn't poke through the fabric, and then you will just twist it. And that gives you a piece like this. Then you can just thread that into your casing. Go all the way to the end. Because you have twisted 2 of them together, it gives it a little more strength so that you can push it all the way through. I like to just use a fat marker pen like this highlight marker, and then you just will wrap your fabric around it. And then that's what will give you your shape for your little tendril. Isn't that so cute? Okay. Also for this bow, any of you who have worked with burlap know that burlap gets a little messy and it's hard to work with sometimes. So this bow is really easy. At the beginning of the pattern, it will tell you to cut off a small piece, and it gives you the dimensions of burlap off of the bottom of your fabric or your burlap piece. Now if you want to wait until the end and position all of your pieces on there, if you feel like maybe you'll cut off too much and you want to make sure you have enough for your pumpkin, you can do that as well. But you're just going to take your burlap, you're going to crisscross it over, you're going to pull it together, and then just take another little piece, tie it, and then you have this piece in the back, and that just hides underneath there. And so then that gives you your bow, and you can pull off some of these pieces if you want to make it look a little more frayed, but it's a lot easier to tie a bow this way than to try and tie it in your regular bow fashion. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do once you have all of your pieces sewn, traced, cut out, and ready to go, then that's when you will put it out on your burlap. We're running a little low on burlap here in the studio today because we've been making so many of these fun projects, so I'm going to make that look a little wider. But you will have your burlap and it will be doubled, and you will set that out on your workspace. Then using the template or the guide in the pattern that shows you where to put your pieces, you will just start building your pumpkin. Also on the leaf, I failed to mention that once you've done your leaf, take and sew a straight stitch just right down the middle of your leaf, because that also gives it some nice dimension too. Now at this point, I would just take this to the sewing machine and tack it down. And we have just tacked it down in various areas around the entire perimeter of the shape. As you can see here, we haven't tacked it all down, just in little places all the way around. That makes it a little easier at your sewing machine too, because it likes to give and wiggle. Once you have these pieces down, then I would take your tendrils and I would just use a regular needle and thread, and I would kind of stitch these down by hand, just so that you don't catch that pipe cleaner in the needle on your machine. And you're also going to want to tack your bow down by hand as well with needle and thread. To work on your banner, you have your wood pieces, and we spray painted ours gold. We thought that that was a really fun color, but you can paint it any way you want. And this piece of twine is included, and you can just, we put it through the E and wrapped it around up here. Of course, you will want to wait till your wood piece is dry. And then to make this banner, you have your pieces for these little pennants. And you want to take your fabric and place it on a fold, just like that. And then your pattern piece goes up at the top of the fold, and then you'll cut that out, and that gives it like this. Now, you can use any adhesive that you have, the tacky glue, fabric fuse. I use Heat and Bond. I like that product. And you can just put a little bit on the inside and then put that over like that. For these little pieces on the inside, just take any scraps of fabric that you may have, you think will go with your colors. And with the same thing, use a fabric fuse or some Heat and Bond light and put that on there. And then just take some of your scrap fabrics and just cut into strips and tie into a knot and hang from your twine in between each of the little pennants. You'll have 2 pennants on each side, and then once you get it to how you like it, you might want it lower or higher. Then I just tied off in a knot and then just did a little stitch on the ends to keep that in place. And this is your finished product. You have this cute pumpkin with the little wood hanging from it, your pennants with the little fabric ties, and then your tendrils and your bow. The last thing that you'll want to do is just take some scrap fabric, maybe some wire or something that you have, and attach a little hanger to the back so that you can hang it on your door. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. This is a really cute project. It's easy, it's not hard to do, and most all of these supplies are really easy to find, so don't feel like it will be a hard project. You can easily do this in an afternoon. Thank you for watching Adorn It, and if you have any questions, please feel free to call us or contact us at adornit.com for other fun projects that we have for you. Thank you.